This impressive structure is the oldest single-span railway bridge in the world. And it's also a symbol of this area's very impressive industrial heritage. Find out where I am? Just a moment. This week I'm helping a father and daughter-in-law duo looking for a sizeable rural home to suit 3 generations.
I think there's enough space here.
Should be, good Lord.
Yes.
Only just.
But after a shaky start, it looks like I might have found a plot to please them.
That's something special, makes it a very, very nice property.
Today I'm in County Durham, and this is Causey Arch, which was built in 1725 by a consortium of mine owners who wanted to transport the coal over the burn here. At the time, it was the largest single-span bridge in Britain, and at its peak, it was seeing more than 900 horse-drawn carts crossing back and forth every single day. Then, after about 10 years, the bridge and the collieries nearby went into decline, and it was 200 years later in the 1980s that it was restored as a symbol of this area's rich industrial heritage. County Durham in the northeast of England borders North Yorkshire, Cumbria and Northumberland to the north. The region boasts some of the most breathtaking countryside and dramatic coastlines in Britain, including the North Pennines area of outstanding natural beauty and the famous Durham Dales, encompassing the valleys of Teesdale and Weardale. The rolling farmland and rugged moorland is broken up by meandering rivers and is scattered with picturesque villages and market towns. The county takes its name from the city of Durham, which offers an appealing mix of history and contemporary culture. The old English university city's winding cobbled streets are crowned with the dramatic cathedral and Castle World Heritage Site, which makes for a stunning city setting. Venture further inland to the forest in Teesdale and you'll find the famous High Force waterfall, which drops 70 feet into a plunge pool below. It's one of the most spectacular falls in England. If I was standing in a beautiful village like this one in the southeast or southwest of England, I'd be telling you now to brace yourself for some staggering prices. But here in County Durham, it's a different picture. It's refreshingly affordable. The average price for a detached house here is £146,000, which is a delicious £124,000 less than the national figure. And even in the northeast as a whole, it's still a great place to be buying because it's 35% cheaper than neighbouring Northumberland. But is it the place for our buyers today? Well, let's meet them and find out. Today's house hunters hail from the city of Sunderland and are a father and daughter-in-law team, Doug and Anne. Anne is married to Doug's son Jeremy and has 3 children, Alex, Christina and Jonathan. They first met 15 years ago.
We enjoy each other's company because we like the same things. I love the way he doesn't let the grass grow under his feet. He's just my type of person because we do lunch together a lot and go for coffees, and then we'll suddenly think of an idea and then next thing we're doing it. And that's what's great about him, he's dynamic and good company.
Yeah, I'll give her the 20 quid later.
It was one day 18 months ago that the pair came up with the brainwave of selling their separate homes in order to buy one big property to fit the whole family. Doug will be joining Anne, Jeremy and the children, as well as Anne's mother, Eileen.
My idea is to have everybody around, you know, not living in each other's pockets, but just a stone's throw away so that we can be there if we need it.
Anne and her husband have lived in their 5-bedroom home in Seaburn, just outside the city centre, since getting married 14 years ago. With their children fast growing up, Anne feels it's time for a change of scenery and pace.
I do have a natural pull to the country when I visit the country, and I've often thought that how much I would love to be part of that life on a permanent basis. And with Christina loving horses, she rides and helps out at the local stables. And it would be nice if she could have her own, if we had the space.
Currently just a 5-minute drive away, Doug's keen to remain close to his only son and grandchildren, and despite being 76, he's up for a new adventure.
I'm at a stage in my life where I'm prepared to look at anything and everything. And I'm also at an age where one's contemporaries are popping their clogs. So with that in mind, you think, well, you know, go for it, do it now.
Armed with a long wish list and 7 people to consider, the pair have a lot of responsibility resting on their shoulders to find the perfect extended family home.
I know my mum would definitely be happy with whatever I would like, because the bottom line is I have reassured the family that I have each and everybody's interests at heart. And of course, Doug's coming along with me anyway, so it's going to be a joint enterprise. But I think I'll have the last say.
Well, yes, that's right. I think she's going to have the last say.
The family want to be within an hour of Sunderland for Anne and Jeremy's work and Doug's social commitments. They're otherwise open-minded, so we're looking all over County Durham. I'm catching up with Anne and Doug to talk through the details of their proposed move. Welcome to County Durham.
Thank you.
It's not such a journey from Sunderland, but
No.
beautiful countryside.
Yes, that's what we like about it.
So let's go through what you're actually looking for. But let's start with you, Doug. What would you like to get out of the move?
I would like separate accommodation, either a cottage or something where perhaps we may have to do some work on to create that separate accommodation.
And your mum is coming too. Is she going to want a separate house too?
I'm afraid so, yes. Yes, if possible.
I think Anne's mother isn't as adamant as I am about the accommodation being separate.
Would Eileen be prepared to be in the house if push came to shove?
I think it would be preferable if she had her own wing, as it were. Or I think it would be preferred to be sort of a self-contained annex, if possible.
And how much land are you looking for?
Just a couple of acres, really, just maybe a nice garden.
And you also want some horses? It's for your middle daughter, isn't it? She's
My
horse
middle
crazy.
daughter, who likes to ride, yes, and yearns for her own horse.
How realistic do you think your search is?
Well, we know we're asking a lot, but I'm sure you can do it.
Oh,
We'll
trust,
see.
blind faith,
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
And what about your house? How many rooms do you want in the house for you and your family?
Probably minimum 5. Or 6, at least a couple of bathrooms, if possible.
Yes,
We just need space. This is what it's all about.
Sure. What about location? Are you keen to be way out in the countryside or more in a community?
It would be superb to be within a community, within a village or a hamlet, as long as it was commuting distance.
And remind me again of your budget, Doug. How much are you going to spend on this mammoth project?
Budget would be about 700,000. And of course, there is a little bit flexibility in that.
How easy is it going to be to please both of you?
Yes.
Are
yes.
you sort of good at compromising?
We are. We like
Yes.
the same things, actually,
Yes,
don't we?
yes,
Yes. I think it'll all fit into place.
I think I've reached an age where I tend to compromise more than I ever did in the past.
That's a very good mindset for when you're house hunting. So we've got 3 beautiful properties lined up. They are going to require a little bit of head scratching and like, how's this going to work for us? So put on your compromise hats. Let's go and look at them.
Good.
Right.
For a joint maximum budget of £700,000, Anne and Doug are hoping to find their family a main property with 5 or more bedrooms, a separate cottage or annex for Doug, and either a second annex or an extra bedroom in the main house for Anne's mother, Eileen. Outside, they're after 2 acres of land with a paddock for a horse. We found them 3 unique properties, all of which could suit the family setup. After each tour, I'll be asking them to guess the property price. The final offering will be our mystery house, designed to really test their appetite for a challenge. We're starting our search 5 miles south of Durham City in the sought-after Tuddow village. This conservation village centres on an attractive village green, surrounded by character properties of various ages and styles, including a local pub dating back 280 years. Our first house lies on a quiet corner of the village green, adjacent to open countryside. Here we go. House number 1, all for sale. A whole lot. As you see, it's a single-level dwelling.
Yes.
We've got a lovely annex, which is actually the oldest part. Dates back to the 1700s. The whole thing is a conversion. The present owner sort of took it back to the foundations and built it up again. And then we would have to convert this. That's the job that you'd have at hand, to give Eileen a separate building.
Yes. The footprints there, I think it's very smart.
Doug, what are your first impressions?
I think the annex looks good. The house, probably, we are flexible, but it does seem to me quite modern.
Yes.
Let's have a look inside.
Lovely.
A mixed reaction to the outside, but I'm hoping they'll like what's to come. Come into the main heart of the house.
Yes.
This is the sitting room.
Lovely room.
Nice size. I like the French doors leading onto the patio.
Both sides. Yeah, so you
Both
can have
sides, yes. So very nice, very spacious, nice size room.
open. So through there's a snug, but over here's the kitchen. Recently converted, this property has a modern feel. The work has been done to a high standard, so the family could move straight in without any further effort. Nice double doors into the kitchen dining room.
Yes.
Lots of wood here, all these bespoke wooden units.
I think this kitchen is lovely.
Yeah?
Yes.
What about the dining area? Because it's not a massive table and there's a lot of you.
It's big enough?
Will you all be eating at the same time?
Not necessarily, no.
Through there you've got a nice utility room and there's a study which would have to be another bedroom.
Right.
So this is where we have to start thinking with our...
Right.
If you wanted all your family in this bit, that would have to become another bedroom.
Right.
Aha.
Okay.
Good. You can see all this sort of going on in your head and I want to know what it is. But you can tell me in your own good time.
Okay.
Back through the lounge on the other side of the property are two good-sized double bedrooms, the family bathroom and a separate toilet, as well as the master bedroom with an ensuite. Well, and this would be yours and Jeremy's room.
Yeah.
Dressing room's nice.
Yes, an ensuite.
Nice
Yes.
big room.
Smaller than our existing room.
Right.
However, we have our wardrobes in the existing room.
So that's a nice touch that you don't have now.
I'm conscious that we haven't shown you where you're going to live.
Yes.
And that's obviously very important. And that is actually very spacious. So you're
Right.
all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go and look.
I'm all right, Jack.
Jokes aside, I'm sensing Anne wasn't overly impressed with the size of the master bedroom. One area I'm confident will deliver on their desire for space is the detached annex. So this is the annex for you, Doug.
Yeah. Oh.
It's lovely.
Looks as though it's been very well done.
Very nice.
And you have two rooms really. It's being used as a bedroom, but it could be a sort of like just sitting room or study.
Yes.
And through there you've got a big bedroom with an ensuite and quite a lot of storage.
Oh, very good. It looks ideal. First impressions are very good.
Okay, well, that's good. One happy customer. And I appreciate you'd like to have a look around, but you can come back and have a look in here.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show you the garden, the outside space.
Oh, lovely.
Good, good.
Thank you.
Outside, the annex has its own small garden area off the central courtyard. To give Eileen her own space, they'd need to convert the garage, currently used as a workshop. Beyond the main house, there's a larger garden backing onto open fields. Oh, so green.
Oh, it's lovely.
So this purple hedge is the end of your property.
Right.
I'm afraid there isn't a paddock or stable block.
Right.
Right. Yes.
But it does have a lot going for it. This is a large garden.
Yes, it's a beautiful garden.
Yes.
It's whether it's large enough for you guys.
I thought this was going to be the garden, and I thought perfect size for the garden.
You
And
also
I-
thought there was going to be a paddock.
I did. Yes.
I'm sure there are paddocks nearby and
Yes,
stables
Yes.
nearby.
Yes. Okay.
But
Yes.
it wouldn't be in your
Of course.
plot.
Yes.
OK, well, we need to find out how much it's on the market for. So what do you think the price of this property is?
I would think it's probably on the market for about 670.
I think slightly less. I think 600,000.
OK, so this property is on the market for £695,000. It's right at the top of your budget.
Right.
Right.
And that's a lot to do about where it is, I think.
It does, to me, seems expensive.
Why don't you have an explore, because there's lots of rooms you haven't seen, and I'll come and find you when you're done.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
good,
you.
thank
Thank you.
For £5,000 short of their maximum budget, these converted farm buildings offer the family a main house with 3 bedrooms and a study to be converted as a 4th. There's a separate 2-bedroom annex that could suit Doug, and a large garage that could be converted to give Eileen her own space too. Unfortunately, there's no paddock here, but the gardens are a good size and the property is within easy commuting distance of Sunderland.
This is a nice room.
Lovely. It's a shame because this is a lovely study, but it would have to be converted into a bedroom to make a fourth bedroom.
You could easily make this a double bedroom.
Yes, yes, so it's doable.
Yeah.
Definitely doable.
Yes.
I think the layout of the house is perfect, and it would be perfect for a slightly smaller family.
As far as I'm concerned, the annex is perfect, and were I to be buying it tomorrow for myself, I wouldn't hesitate. Space outside is fine, space in the annex is fine, space in the house, big question mark.
The only reservation that I have is the lack of the paddock and the stables. I'm a little gutted that they don't exist.
There you go, guys. Have you had enough of a good look around?
Yes, we have.
Yes,
Very
yes.
good.
Got all your information?
We have, yes.
Well, we've got another house to do it all again.
Good. Oh, well,
stuff.
let's see.
Thank you.
Anne was born in County Durham before moving to Sunderland at the age of 4. She's keen to discover more about the heritage of her home soil, so we've arranged for her and Doug to visit the world-famous Beamish Museum. Opened since 1971, the museum's recreated Edwardian town and pit village give visitors the chance to step back in time. Anne and Doug are meeting Jonathan Kindleysides, the keeper of industry, who's showing them around the pit village.
Most things that you see in Beamish have been dismantled brick by brick or stone by stone and brought here. So these came from a nearby village called Hettonley Hall. So these are the houses where the miners would have lived. And it was a tied house, so they would have had a job and a house with the job. Also the gardens that we're in today.
And these houses would be built when?
These date from the 1850s.
I have a particular interest because my grandfather and great-grandfather were miners. So on a day-to-day basis, how would they have lived?
Well, actually, miners are often seen as being quite poor, living in poor conditions. But as you can see from these houses and the gardens, it's all quite neat and tidy.
Earning around 30 to 35 shillings a week, a miner's wage was twice that of a farm labourer. Along with the supply of a rent-free house and a coal allowance, miners were considered well off.
So once the coal was mined, how did it get moved?
The vast majority was taken away by train. Most of it was industrial, for steam locomotives, for generating electricity, for factories.
In the early days, coal was mined with the help of horsepower, but the ponies were slow and their feed became expensive. So in the early 1800s, collieries looked for new ways to transport the coal. It was a local engineer, George Stephenson, who would be amongst the pioneers of steam engine design. His locomotives were some of the first to take to Britain's tracks. Today, Beamish has 3 replica locomotives on site, including Stephenson's Locomotion No. 1. Engine driver Mark Bunker is giving Anne and Doug a closer look.
Now, the early engines are capable of pulling up to about 40 tonnes at a time.
Wow.
So, of course, it replaces a lot of men and horses in one go.
What sort of speed would this be travelling?
Well, on the Stockton-Darton line, they had a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. Wow. But it's not because the engine can't go faster, it's because of the track technology that they use as well. Yeah. But a lot of early days, the engines only move between 5 and 10 miles an hour.
Is there any chance we're going to
Yes, you can have a ride on the train. If you just make your way around to the other side, you can have a ride on the train.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Bye.
Bye now.
After a journey into the county's past, it's time to get back to the house search and find out what County Durham could offer Anne, Doug and their family in the future. For our next property, we're heading towards the market town of Bishop Auckland, 12 miles from Darlington. The town grew rapidly in the 19th century, but was of historical significance much earlier. Home to the magnificent Auckland Castle, it's been the principal resident of the Bishops of Durham since the 12th century. Today, it's a shopper's delight with over 200 outlets to choose from and a variety of cosy cafes. 6 miles southwest, in the small village of Evenwood Gate, we find our second property in a rural setting half a mile from the main road.
What are your first thoughts?
I'm getting this lovely feeling of lots of space.
Yes.
I can breathe.
This is an old Durham longhouse, dating back to 1630.
Lovely.
And you can see the period, you can see the lovely mullioned windows that were boxed
Yes.
up during the window taxes.
Yes.
It is a much more historic offering, and I think it gives you a lot more of what you're looking for.
It looks more right than the other one to me.
But I warn you, there will be compromises.
Yes.
Yes,
Graciously.
well, that's...
Okay.
Nothing in life's perfect, is it?
Except me. Let's go. Doug may not be expecting to be blown away, but I've got a good feeling about this farmhouse. The downstairs is laid out in an L shape with a separate annex to the rear of the property and a number of reception rooms along the front. So this house has 1, 2 sitting rooms. Big size.
It is. Lovely.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yes. It's exactly what I hoped for. Love the ingle nook fireplace. I love the sash windows as well. I've kept it within the character.
Not only does this house have 2 sitting rooms, it actually has 2 dining rooms, which I think is a first on the show.
Yeah, well,
Lovely. Can easily make use of that.
Oh, yeah.
yes, I'm sure we can.
Come in. This is dining room number 1,
Yes.
and then through the kitchen, dining room number 2.
Wow.
I think there's enough space here.
Should be, good
Yes.
lord.
Yes.
Only
enough
just,
space.
only just. But this dining room is
That's lovely,
wonderful, lovely.
Very good. Lovely kitchen as well. I mean, it's super.
The real issue, of course, is bedrooms. And here you're going to have to think creatively.
Right?
Just warning you.
Yes, I'm happy to. Happy to.
Despite the abundance of space downstairs, the upstairs might be a bit of a squeeze. There are 3 double bedrooms for the children, a single bedroom currently used as a study, as well as a family bathroom. At the far end, there's a light and spacious master bedroom. Here we have the master suite.
Oh, this is a lovely room, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely delightful.
You've got an ensuite and a sort of walk-in wardrobe affair here. So similar to the last property, but much bigger.
Yes. It's a huge bedroom, this. I mean, it's...
The windows are lovely.
So you and the family are sorted.
Yeah.
We
True.
might have somewhere for you lined up.
Right, OK.
And we need to think creatively and find a solution, which is always possible, to find somewhere lovely for Eileen to stay.
Yes, that would be nice.
So that's our project.
OK.
Good.
So get your thinking caps on as we
shall.
explore the annex.
We will.
Wonderful.
We might not have found a solution for Eileen yet, but first things first, I need to show Doug the annex. Currently used as a holiday let, it has its own entrance and should give him the independent living he's after. Doug, come and look at your home-to-be.
Wow. This nice room.
This is a sort of sitting room area. You've got your bedroom in there.
Yeah.
And a sort of galley kitchen here.
The kitchen there.
And a bathroom here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more compact.
Yeah. It is nice, though. Ideal.
Is this good?
It is.
Absolutely spot on.
Well, one of the other things you need to see is the land.
Yes. Yes.
So let's do that.
Thank you.
The property sits on an impressive plot of over 3.5 acres and includes an outbuilding providing useful storage, a patio area and a huge lawned garden. It's also got the paddocks they were looking for and comes complete with its own stream. You have your 3 acres, including 2 paddocks,
Yes.
and then you also have your own stretch of river, including a little bar.
That's something special. Makes it a very, very nice property.
How much do you think this property is going to set you back?
I would say about 700.
What about you, Anne?
675.
675.
Yes.
Okay, so this 3-acre plot with the house and the annex and the river is on the market for £575,000.
Wow.
I nearly said 600, but I didn't want to be wrong again.
Well, you would have been right. So which gives you like £100,000 to think seriously about. You'd have to build something for Eileen.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Well, if at that price, you would be able to afford.
to do that.
No
yes.
bother.
Yeah.
And this is not a listed building, it's not a conservation area, so The planning officers, particularly if there's a relative coming to live with you, they're quite
Yes.
keen to support that.
Yes. The third property that we're going to see will have to be something, I think, to beat this, without a doubt.
You've thrown down a gauntlet.
Yes, you have.
OK, so if you make your way back into the house,
Thank you very much. We can have a look, shall we?
and I'm going to sit and watch the fish.
Lovely.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you.
Good.
For a significant £125,000 under their maximum budget, this property works hard to give their family practically everything they're after. With 5 bedrooms, 4 reception rooms and an annex, all it's missing is a separate space for Eileen. But with a sizable plot and coming in well under budget, they could easily build her what she wants.
It's a pleasant bedroom, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice bedroom.
It's lovely how it's not too high up and it's got the beautiful view.
Yeah, lovely views.
I think the inside of the property is exactly what I was looking for. It has interesting features. The double dining room, and it just gives you so much space. Bearing in mind the price of the property, we will have scope to be able to carry out the renovations that is required.
The annex more than meets the bill. It's not as good accommodation as I live in now. It's a property I feel I could happily live on.
You guys done?
Yes, been
Yeah,
lovely.
very good.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes.
Very good.
Not found any downsides while I wasn't looking?
No, couldn't think of any.
Good. Well, let's draw a line under today and get ready for tomorrow.
That's
Okay.
excellent.
Thank you.
Father and daughter-in-law duo Doug and Anne are looking to move their extended family of 7 from their coastal homes in Seaburn, Sunderland, to the wilds of rural County Durham. With a generous budget of £700,000, they're hoping to find a dream home to suit 3 generations. Coming up, will our buyers be bowled over by the original features at our mystery house? And that's the only listed part of the property. That's a Grade 2 listed toilet.
All right.
Oh.
And I get a taste of the local tipple. I mean, it's quite strong, but it does have lots of taste to it. I may have been a little hasty in saying that the sun always shines in County Durham, but this morning we brought Doug and Anne into the interior of the county, where the landscape is very striking and very beautiful and very sparsely populated. So we're playing the remote card with the mystery house and also throwing down the gauntlet about building, because they're going to need to build those annexes. But that's what the mystery house is about, a challenge. Heading inland to the heart of the Durham Dales, our mystery property is in Upper Weardale, in the traditional Dales village of St John's Chapel. A popular tourist spot for walkers and cyclists, visitors come to the area to explore its famous scenic routes, including the highest road in the UK. The village itself has a strong community feel with 2 pubs and a number of shops and cafes. A mile from the village, our mystery property occupies a secluded position with fantastic views of the Dales. The mystery house.
Looks very nice.
I think it's lovely.
One of the reasons we really wanted to bring you here, because this is a house with a huge plot of land. Comes with 13 acres.
Wow.
So it's a big offering that gives you potential to do things that the other properties perhaps couldn't. The house is very big, so it could accommodate everybody in the house. I know you don't want to do that. But it means you would have to build or convert to even give you an annex.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more work. So in that sense, it's a bit more of a challenge.
Yes. Yes, good.
Yeah, well, we don't mind challenges.
Good. We like to hear that. What do you think of the actual house? Because it was completely rebuilt from a shell in the last 3 or 4 years.
I like the old and the new mixed.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that look. Always have.
Obviously, we would like to see inside and...
Well, because it's you, I'll let you.
Right, good.
Originally built in the late 1800s, this farmhouse is an impressive modern conversion. Across 3 floors, it offers a generous 7 bedrooms and substantial living space. This is the main sitting room.
Yeah, very nice.
I think it's lovely, lovely and comfortable.
Can you imagine your family fitting in?
Well, yes, I think so.
I
But,
think we'd fit in quite easily, yes.
OK, let's look at the kitchen. Accessed from both the main sitting room and another lounge, the family kitchen is spacious and bright and runs the length of both rooms. This is a lovely room, I think.
Wonderful.
I was talking to the owner that originally the windows were sort of half, like they're a bit lower, and so she had the sills dropped down so you could have more view.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice, and I could see myself in here.
Right.
Yes.
I wanted to show you upstairs because you have 7 bedrooms in this house.
Lovely.
Also on the ground floor, there's a stunning beamed room used as a study. Heading up to the first floor are 5 of the 7 bedrooms, all good-sized doubles. None are en suite, but there's a family bathroom and a separate shower room. To be honest, I could have shown you any of the bedrooms. They're all really nice sizes. This is being used as the master because it has a walk-in wardrobe over the staircase there.
Lovely.
We haven't had a house that had 7 bedrooms for quite some time. So when push came to shove, even if you were building, you could have everybody in the house.
While you were building, yes.
Yes.
Because actually upstairs, the sort of attic space has been turned into a suite of 3 rooms.
Right.
One of which is the sort of laundry boiler room. So you could turn that upstairs into a little sort of living area for you.
Self-contained suite.
I'll let you explore all the bedrooms at your leisure. But let's go outside and look at the footprint of those houses for you. Good. After you.
Thank you.
Outside is where this property's real potential lies. With a garage, a number of outbuildings and a vast plot of land, the family could build separate accommodation for Doug and Eileen. It really is a stunning view. And this is your field. And in fact, actually, this and the field beyond it is your field. So that's 10 acres of hay fields. And see this little stone building here? This is the old privy.
Right.
And that's the only listed part of the property. That's a Grade 2 listed toilet.
Oh, right.
And then you've got that outbuilding up there. So in terms of development potential, that's an obvious starting place, because it's quite a big stone structure over there.
Yeah, it is, yes.
But you can see they've already put the footings down here for a giant... This was going to be a barn for the hay. So they got that passed, no problems. And they were suggesting that if you went with the same architect with some plans for a sort of dwelling, then you could probably get that through as well.
Right.
But obviously that's all subject to planning, so you can't promise that.
Of course, yes.
And that's a huge footprint.
It is, yes. As you say, loads and loads of potential.
Well, exciting prospect, isn't it?
Yes.
So how much do you think this is all on the market for?
600,000?
My guess is 500,000.
500,000.
Yes.
OK, so that's a bit of a wild card, because this is on the market for actually 650,000.
Oh, right.
So a little
Wow.
wide of the mark there.
Because of our budget and having to build if you like, a residence for 2 people, separate residences, it's not going to leave us a lot of money to play with.
Well, the owners might be open to negotiations.
Is this true?
Well, of course, that's true, yes.
Have a wander around, particularly upstairs, because there's lots of bedrooms you haven't seen.
Yes.
Look ahead.
Thank you.
It was always going to be quite a hard sell, this Mr. House, because of all the building necessary and the price, but this is an amazing spot. At £50,000 under their top budget, this property and its lovely location could give Anne and Doug the rural family lifestyle they've been discussing for so long. This substantial 3-floor conversion with 7 bedrooms should have more than enough space for the family. The 13 acres of land would keep the kids busy, and there are paddocks for a horse and a number of outbuildings, meaning, subject to planning permission, they could give Doug and Eileen purpose-built separate annexes. But whether it's too rural, only they can decide.
Oh, yes, this is a nice bedroom, Al.
Oh, nice and spacious. And
And
yes,
all seem to be double bedrooms, yeah.
nice and bright as well.
Yeah,
Oh, yes,
very
it's
good,
lovely.
nice. Again, lovely views.
What I like about this house is the space, the little nooks and crannies, and the fact that it is so versatile as well.
I think the look of the property is really attractive. Coming down that drive and seeing the house, it makes a very attractive setting. It's an ideal setting for me, personally, but I'm not the only one in the equation.
I could see myself settling in a place like this, as rural as this is. The only reservation that I have would be, would the children adapt as well? Would they adapt as easily as I could?
So, have you had a good look around?
Yes, very good.
Hold your thoughts, because we're going to find a nice County Durham pub, and that's where we'll have our final discussion.
Good.
County Durham is known as one of the earliest and largest mining areas in the country. Its mineral-rich shallow seams, with close proximity to the coast, meant coal could be dug and quickly shipped around the country. Since the mine closures in the 1980s, the county, and in particular the ex-colliery villages, have welcomed the addition of new industry and entrepreneurship. A new business on the outskirts of Durham City, hoping to help with the revival, is Durham Distillery. I come to meet owner John Chadwick to find out more about this craft industry. So John, this is a juniper wood. I've never been in a juniper wood before.
Yes, so we're in the biggest juniper wood in England.
Obviously essential for gin, and I'm quite intrigued because I don't associate gin with County Durham.
No, I mean, we're the first legal distillery in Durham since Henry VIII.
So how did the idea come around?
I was in America and I came across a whole load of really beautiful little kind of micro distilleries set up mainly on the East Coast. And then the moment we said Durham gin, it was such a lovely concept, we kind of thought that we had to do it.
In 2012, it was reported that a fungus infection was found to be present on juniper bushes in northern Britain. Already a declining supply, it became a protected species. Due to the volumes needed at the distillery, John imports his juniper from Europe. Oh look, here's a little tiny juniper tree. But with a small supply of the local strain, his plan is to regrow it, with the aim of becoming self-sufficient within 5 years. So what's the basic of a gin?
By law, it must be juniper. I think you would want to have a balance of some nice, very English flavours. So we use things like elderflower and celery and angelica. And you'd want to balance that with some slightly sort of more exotic flavours. So we use some pink pepper and a bit of coriander and cardamom.
So when you set out to make a craft distillery, I mean, what sort of proportions are you thinking? How many bottles are you aiming to make?
If we can sell 10,000 bottles this year, that would be fantastic.
Compared to a commercial distillery that produces thousands of bottles a day, this is a small operation. Each batch of just a few hundred bottles at a time takes several days. At the forefront of what they do here are the craft, techniques and skill of the distiller, Jessica Tomlinson. At 25, Jessica is the youngest female distiller in the country. And so this is your baby?
It is, yes. Our 400-litre copper pot still. It was handmade for us in Portugal and Spain, so it's bespoke to us.
So just talk me through it, because the basic science eludes me.
Yes, so into our main still here, we put grain-neutral spirit, which is just ethanol, mineral water, which is from Durham itself, and a selection of botanicals. So we've got the hand-crushed junipers in there.
OK, so the juniper goes in there?
It does, yeah. Right. And we cold macerate that overnight. So that means all of those oils are infused into the ethanol overnight. And then in the morning, we add another selection of botanicals into there and close that up. And once we turn the boiler on, it all heats up.
During the distillation process, the ethanol separates from the water and infuses with the botanical oils. Over several hours, the liquid starts to evaporate. The vapour then passes through a copper tube called a lin arm and into what is known as the gin basket, containing a third and final set of botanicals. OK, so there's just the hot vapours just pass over
yes.
those?
Yeah. And then we pass down here and into our worm tub. Worm tub, yeah. So as the hot vapour hits the cold metal, it condenses and passes all the way down through here and then comes up through the parrot spout at the bottom.
That's some great words.
There are, yes.
So this is where the finished product comes out?
It does, yes. And we collect that from there.
Right. And presumably that's super strong when it comes out?
It is. It's roughly kind of 75 to 80%.
And then you just dilute it?
We dilute it down with water, yeah, to the legal 40%, yeah.
Have you got any of the good stuff?
We do, yeah. I'll get some.
Yeah. So it definitely has, I wouldn't typically drink neat gin, especially I don't know how early in the morning it is, man.
But we always say, try it like that, and then you can see what your gin's actually like.
I mean, it's quite strong, but it does have lots of taste to it. Brilliant. Well, all the best and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's going to be a
Thank
long
you.
career in distilling ahead of
Great,
you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that went down well, and I'm hoping my property offerings will have done the same with our buyers. I have to confess it's been quite a struggle this week fulfilling Doug and Anne's rather exacting wish list, but I think we did rather well, although I'm still kind of in the dark as to which of the last two houses, the house we saw yesterday afternoon or the mystery house, they like the best. So let's go and find out. Thank you so much for bringing us to this lovely part of the world. I don't think we've ever been here before, but I was wondering, how did we do? Was it a good trip for you?
Well, certainly it's given me a great deal of food for thought.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Is that you being diplomatic that we haven't found you the house that you want?
I don't think we're naive enough, certainly I'm not, to believe that there is a perfect property out there. There will be a part perfect property, which we think we've seen, and we'll have to put a lot of work, effort to make that property perfect.
Which one are we talking about? Which is the part perfect property?
Well, perhaps Anne and I are a bit at odds here.
Oh, OK. Well, what's your part perfect?
Mine was the last one.
And yours?
I'm thinking property 2 is slightly less remote, but I can see Doug's point regarding property 3. I think it does have huge potential. Very much value my husband's opinion too, and I have every intention of arranging to go back to both properties.
Ah, well, that's good.
Yes.
As far as the mystery property was concerned, I think that perhaps we should go back to the architect as you suggested and perhaps talk about a couple of options.
You mentioned bringing your husband, Jeremy, to see the house, but will you bring Eileen as well?
I think at this stage I would do the research myself with Jeremy and Doug, and perhaps the next stage would be bringing the children and my mum.
Another thing that seemed to happen as we were going through the week is that you became aware of the issue of location, whether being right out into the countryside was going to be good, particularly for your kids.
Yes, it suddenly did hit me that it was going to be an incredible lifestyle change, and so I do have to give that a little bit more thought.
So you did give us a very tall order. Do we measure up in any shape?
Yes, it's been excellent, and I'm a lot more knowledgeable about the marketplace, and as Anne said, we will follow it up.
Very good.
Thank you.
Oh, it's been a great pleasure, and thanks again for bringing us to this lovely county.
Good.
Pleasure.
I think we did a pretty good job here in County Durham because Doug and Anne are keen to revisit not one but two of our properties. So, claps for us and claps for you for watching, and do join us next time for another challenge on Escape to the Country. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, or perhaps even further afield to the continent and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.